Okay. Sorry guys, I have caught a cold, so pardon the man voice, but I'm fighting something. So if I'm going to do this side first, and then we'll go and write the equation. So this one, we're going to do this back flap right here. Notice this is finding the missing angles. So it's pretty much the same thing. There's just one extra step that you're going to have to do. So if we're talking about angle B, notice we have the opposite, and then we have the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is always across from the 90 degree. So we have opposite and hypotenuse, so we know we have to use sine. So we've been talking about its sine of the angle. Well, in this case, it's angle B. So I'm going to put a capital B. Is equal to opposite, which is 11.8, over 13.5. So we have sine of angle B is equal to 11.8 divided by 13.5. You can type that in your calculator to find out what it equals. But first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my calculator's in degree mode again. So hit mode. Yes, my calculator is still in degree, so I'm going to just type it in. So I'm going to do 11.8 divided by 13.5, and that gives me 0.87. So the sine of B is equal to 0.87. If you notice, it's not anything like sine times B or sine divided by B or sine plus B. Whenever you have learned to solve in the past, if it was sine, or if it was, let's call it a 5 plus B, you would subtract 5 because that's the inverse operation. If it was 5 times B, you would divide by 5 because that's the inverse operation. Well, this is a new one for you. So if you look, it's sine of angle B. If you look on your calculator, let me hold it up just a little bit. So notice right above the button sine, it says sine to the negative first. That negative first is the sine inverse. So it's the inverse of sine. So you're actually going to do sine and then sine inverse. Those cancel out. And then we're going to do sine inverse of 0.87. So then angle B is going to equal sine inverse of 87. So we're going to hit second sine inverse, or second sine, to get that part that's up there. You can type in this fraction again. I'm going to hit the second negative. Notice it says A and S. That stands for answer. So I'm going to hit second and this button down here. And notice it puts answer. And then it's just going to take the sine inverse of whatever that fraction was, or the answer to the previous problem. So it was 60.93, which the 3 makes the 9 stay. So the angle B would be equal to 60.9. Okay. So then if we look at this next one, notice it shares the side with the angle, so that's adjacent. And then we have hypotenuse. So we know that it's going to be cosine, saw, ca, A-H. So cosine, again it's angle B, is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So 15 over 24. So since it's cosine of an angle that we're looking for, you have to do the same thing as the sine inverse. We just need to do cosine inverse. So you're going to do cosine to the negative first, that and that cancel, and it's cosine to the negative first. So to find it, we're going to do B equals cosine to the negative first of 15 over 24. And we can type that in. So second cosine inverse of 15 divided by 24, and I get 51.31. So that would be my angle measure. A quick note, if it also asks you for angle A, don't make more work for yourself. You don't have to set up an equation like this again. Remember, if this is 90 degrees and this is 51.3 degrees, remember all of the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. So if we do 180 minus 90 plus 51.3, that's just adding the two angle measures that we already have. So this would be 38.7. So don't make more work for yourself and make yourself have to do sine or cosine or tangent to find the other angle. I mean, you could, it should give you the same thing, but you don't have to, because we know that all angles of a triangle are equal to 180. Okay, this last one down here, we're looking for angle C this time. Notice we have 9, which is adjacent. We have 5, which is opposite. We don't have the hypotenuse because the longest side is not given. So if we have opposite and adjacent, that's OA, so TOA, tangent. So it would be tangent of angle C is equal to, and if you look, it's actually opposite over adjacent. So it would be 5 over 9. Okay, again, we're trying to separate or find the angle measure. So we need to get tangent off this side. In order to do that, you need to do the inverse of tangent. Those two cancel. So the equation to find angle C would be the tangent inverse of 5 over 9. So hit second, tangent, 5 divided by 9. So angle C is equal to 29.05. Again, look at the second number. That 5 makes the 0 round up to a 1. So it'd be 29.1 would be the degree. I should have put a degree sign on all of these. Is my fault. So just to show that it's the angle measure is that. Okay, so notice it says sine inverse of parentheses equals theta. So if you're looking for the angle, then you still do the same thing. It's still opposite. Oops, sorry. Over O over H. This one is still adjacent over hypotenuse, and this one is still opposite over adjacent. So that is how you can find the angle measure.